Welcome to the Temple of Positive Energy. I'm Rob Alex, and we are here on a path to make life amazing, just to enjoy it, to embrace all that it has for us. And I'm glad you guys are on this journey with me. Um, I'm not a teacher, I like to instruct, but I'm here to share my experiences with you so that you can hopefully share experiences back or share experiences with other people. There are no wrong or rights. In a spiritual path, there are no wrong or rights. So um, it's just a great feeling to know that everybody's on a different path. Everybody's right. Everybody's wrong. Everybody's enjoying life. So it's just a wonderful concept. But today's topic, we're going to talk about mistakes as spiritual practice. And most of us will think mistakes, how can that be spiritual? Mistakes are something that happen that we don't plan on, that we don't take into consideration. Maybe we weren't thinking properly and we make mistakes. But some of the greatest mistakes in the world have led to amazing things that are coming. Great medicines have been found because of mistakes. I know in my personal life that many of the mistakes that I've made, and I've made a lot of them, believe me, I've made a lot of them, have led to amazing things that led to me learning and growing as a person. And so it makes me think that maybe mistakes aren't mistakes at all. Maybe they are just our subconscious or a higher power, if you want to think of it that way, leading us in a different direction, maybe giving us a little nudge, that type of thing. And I think mistakes are a two-way street because we make mistakes, but sometimes mistakes happen to us. And I'll give you a good example of that. The other day I was at a restaurant and I ordered some food and I took it to go and I got back home and I realized I had somebody else's order. It was a mistake. It wasn't my mistake. I looked on the ticket. It, had my name on it, but the restaurant had put the wrong item in the bag, and I'm assuming that somebody else got my order and they got their order. But it turns out that what I got, I really liked. It was some pineapple chicken, where I had ordered teriyaki chicken, and I got this pineapple fried rice chicken. Very similar. It wasn't a huge difference. It just didn't have the teriyaki, and I really liked it. And now I have two things that I like from that restaurant that I know for sure in that sense. So in that sense, was a mistake? Was it an accident? Yes, but in the definition of mistake, it didn't hurt me. It didn't cause me any pain. I still got enjoyment out of it. So was it really a mistake? Which makes me wonder if mistakes are actually accidents, or are they a grand plan or something to get us to try something else. I'll give you another example of a mistake that I made. I used to be a professional bowler. I went to professional bowling tournaments when I was very young, and I remember one of the first ones I went to, I made the mistake, and there was a time change, and I had the time change backwards in my head. So I was crossing state lines, and so I got there. I got to the tournament extremely early, way earlier than I planned on. I'm an early person anyhow, but I got there way earlier than I planned on. And there was nothing else to do. So I just went in and I just hunkered down and sat there. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, God, I got to remember the time change goes the other way so the next time I don't, do this. Well, just so happens as I'm sitting there, I only see one other person in the building itself. And that person comes up to me and says, hey, you're here awful early. And I realize, and for those of you that are bowlers, you might recognize this name, but Dick Weber, which was Pete Weber's father, was there as an official for this tournament. And we're the only two in there. And so we have this amazing conversation. I walk around with him. He explains, I tell him I'm new to this. He explains a lot of things to me, gives me some tips, some pointers, things like that. And I mean, oh my God, it worked out amazing. I had this great experience with a legend at that point. Obviously, I never became a legend in the bowling world, but it was such a surreal moment, and it would have never happened if I didn't make that mistake. How many times have you went down a wrong turn only to find a new place, a new, something interesting? Maybe people that I've heard of people that have found that a house that they just fall in love with by turning down the wrong street, or they've met somebody by going to the wrong place, or there's just unlimited amount of things that you can do. Recently, I don't know if any of you have seen this on, it's a TikTok video where the mom buys tickets to she thinks the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert, again, big Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, but it was actually a Red Hot Chili Pipers. So it was a bagpipe group, and so it was just this funny moment, and it was a mistake, and I'm sure she felt bad, and the child that was doing the TikTok was just laughing, and they were showing videos from the Red Hot Chili Pipers, but it turns out that the actual Red Hot Chili Peppers found out about this, and they offered her tickets to a show. And how amazing is that? It's, the mistake that was made, and they were able to laugh about it and openly say, I made a mistake. I'm not perfect. I made a mistake, and it got them something amazing. And I think that's the thing that we need to understand, to embrace the mistakes, because they do so often lead to other things, whether it's, trying a different food, meeting somebody new, finding a new place, getting to talk to somebody that you might not have got to talk to otherwise, to embrace those mistakes and go, maybe this is part of my spiritual path. Maybe I was designed to make this mistake. I don't know. Is there a grand scheme of things, and do they have to throw mistakes in there sometimes for us to really experience life as we should, or to experience wonderful things that happen? Maybe sometimes we're just not, we want these things to happen, but we're not on the right path. And they have to throw a little mistake in there. They have to, make us miss a plane. They have to make us, order the wrong item. They have, whatever it is, whatever kind of mistake that we can make. Maybe you made a mistake on a test and you didn't get into the college you got into, but the college you did get into was, the one that you needed to go to. All those type of things. It's boggling the mind to think of how mistakes have shaped our lives. Great things. I once hired somebody by mistake. I had several candidates, and I got the names mixed up, and I hired the wrong person. But that person ended up being amazing. Now, would the other person been amazing? I'm sure they would have been too, but I would have never hired this person that got hired. But it was a mistake, and it worked out perfectly. I so think we need to, again, embrace the mistakes that we make and learn from them and grow from them. Yeah, sure, they all don't work out perfectly, and they all don't work out amazing, but there's always a learning lesson from every one of them, to help us experience life in a more wonderful and amazing way. So that's my take on how spiritual mistakes are. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to embrace the mistakes. Don't be afraid to laugh at your mistakes. Heck, they might get you free Red Hot Chili Pepper concert tickets. You just never know what they might do. So embrace those mistakes. Some of them are big and powerful, but some of them are little mistakes that just show us that we need to be going in a different direction. So look at the mistake as not something wrong or something bad, but maybe just a nudge in the direction that you need to be going. So there's my take for the Temple of Positive Energy here today, sending you good love, sending you good vibrations out there into the world. I hope to see you again next week, as we will have another topic for you on the spiritual level. Stay great. Keep doing great things for other people. Keep doing great things for yourself, and love yourself a little bit. I love myself all the time. So we will talk to you again. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, send them to the email on the page, and we will be happy to address anything you might have.